Hey everybody, it's Doc from the Modern Boomer, and today we are looking at Colossal Cave. This is a brand new release from Cygnus Entertainment. These guys are the originators of Sierra Games. If you can remember back that long ago, they created fantastic quest games, fantastic puzzle games. It was the reason I got started in computer gaming, and they are completely to blame for my hobby. And to see them come out and create a brand new game based on the original text version of Colossal Cave, which was done in the 70s, just made my heart melt. This game is a visual adaptation of the original text game that actually got Roberta Williams into making games in the first place. This was her inspiration way back in the 70s. So, what do you do in Colossal Cave? Well, in Colossal Cave, you are a cave explorer, and your job is to go down to the depths of this cave, which, by the way, was inspired by a real cave in Kentucky, USA, and you have to go down there and collect treasure. But it's not that easy. There are twists like different creatures that you will encounter, different puzzles that will make you have to think, and only a limited inventory space for you to get all the things done that you need to do to get a perfect 350 points in the game. You get points in this game by exploring, collecting treasure, and bringing treasure back out to the main house that you started from. This game to me has a feel like a three-dimensional Pitfall game. And if you don't know what Pitfall is, go Google it. It was one of the original Activision titles for Atari. But basically, you're looking for treasure, there are things in your way. It also kind of reminds me of Myst a little bit, if you've ever played the puzzle game Myst. So there's action, there's suspense, and of course, reward. So put your thinking caps on and get into the cave. Now, this isn't your typical game for the modern gamer. And I think that's a great reason why we're looking at this on the Modern Boomer YouTube channel. This game harkens back to the time when games were about thinking, saving frequently so you don't lose your progress, and having sheer excitement in figuring out the game's crazy puzzles. So let's talk about the positives and negatives of this new release. First, the positives. I love the nostalgia of this game. This game makes you use your brain by combining limited resources with multiple objects, and you need to kind of figure out how it all fits together so that you can get a perfect score. And that leads me to the next great thing about this game, replayability. You can finish the game and you don't have all the points. So you might want to go back and retry it and see if you can get a better score. I mean, this is the kind of game where you'll lay in bed at night wondering, what did I do wrong? Why did that vase smash on the floor? And then all of a sudden at 3 in the morning, you're going to wake up and say, you know, I didn't do X, Y, or Z. And go back and you try it and you realize that your thinking in the middle of the night has solved another little puzzle about the game. And that is priceless. Also, as I said before, very nostalgic. Also, it's a great unwinding game. It's just, you know, after you play these first-person shooters and you're all hyped up, playing Tarkov and getting killed, or playing Modern Warfare and your team isn't doing well, this is something that you can kind of sit back and relax and enjoy. Next, this game is coming out for multiple different platforms. It's coming out for VR, PC, PlayStation, Switch, Xbox, and basically, so you're going to be able to play this on anything that you own, basically, to game with. So that is a fantastic thing. And originally, this was, I think, supposed to be just a VR game, but they were kind enough to send it to the non-VR people too, and I think that a lot of people are going to enjoy it. Now, what are the negatives? The negatives about the game are, unfortunately, that it doesn't fit into the genre that appears to be popular in gaming today. Now, younger kids might like it, VR people are going to like it, but the mainstream hardcore gamers, I mean, I think we've been all so trapped in a first-person shooter world. I think you're not going to be as open to a game that basically thinks differently in the way that we used to, if that makes sense. So it's thinking oldly, but it's new now because a lot of games haven't been made like this in a long time. So it's new to you, and it's basically new to most players because a lot of people don't remember these Sierra years unless you're one of the modern boomers. So get reacquainted with it. I'd like to see more games like this come out. I'm going to cut to the chase on what some people are going to start saying about what the second negative of this game is going to be, and that's going to be the graphics. Now, agreed. The graphics are not on par with any of the current AAA titles that are out there right now that are just killing 3080 Ti's and 4090s, but the tone of the game isn't going for ultra realism, and I think this is an artistic decision to make the graphics a little bit more whimsical, but for them to go through all the work of translating a text description into a full three-dimensional space for all these rooms is an impressive feat, and they got it done, I think, faster than I would have expected. When I met Marcus back at PAX a year or so ago, they had a demo on VR, and it was impressive how it looked, and the game looks similar. So they had a lot of work done pretty quick, and I'm definitely impressed with the game in that respect. And the third negative I'm going to list is really no one's particular fault. I think that Ken and Roberta had their hands tied a little bit because they need to make this game a pretty accurate representation of the text game that they originally played. So yes, there's some artistic licensure on how they decide the room looks, but the gameplay, the use of the objects, all that stuff still needs to be fairly loyal to the source material. So although the game is a fun game, you don't really have a lot of flexibility when you make this game as a remake of another game. So it's basically you're tied to the inventory, what the items do, the gameplay, etc. So some of the maps have these annoying areas where you keep going in circles until you're able to figure out the puzzle to get out of it. That's not as much fun in a graphical adventure. And some of the objects have odd uses, but that was the way the original artist intended. So, should you buy this game? Well, I'm going to tell you my personal opinion. Yes, buy it. It's worth it. It is nostalgia at its best for people who love puzzle games, for those who love Roberta and Ken Williams, and for those who loved all their games in the Sierra years. It has that nostalgic feel, and it's done very well, and I wish them the best of the luck. I hope they decide to produce more games, and I'm hooked. You can pick this game up now on the Steam Store, on the Epic Store, on their webpage, and of course on the different game store apps on the consoles when it comes out. So I hope this gives you a nice brief overview of the game without giving anything away. I really think you should pick up this game. I think it's definitely worth it. Or did you already buy it? If you did, leave a comment below and tell me what you think. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and this is Doc with the Modern Boomer. Please check out the rest of our podcast episodes that you can find on the YouTube channel. We're on all the major podcasting networks, and check out my personal channel, ed.gamer, where tech, gaming, and medicine come together in a beautiful slurry. All right, guys, have a good one.